Even though it hurts, I won't show it to you. 'Cause it will ricochet, I won't let it bite. I will look at you and tell you that I'm alright. Like a ricochet, it will come back to you. Let me tell you, no, because my eyes are open, your words will keep bouncing away. And even if you try to...
Hey everyone, welcome to today's video. If you're new, I'm Becca, and today we are doing a clean, declutter, and organize. I'm getting rid of so much stuff. We're gonna be in my boys' closet, and it's a big walk-in closet, and it becomes a catch pile for all kinds of random stuff that probably should just be thrown away or gotten rid of, but it's gotten so overwhelming that I can barely walk through it. But before I start in the closet, I always like to clean up the room I'm going to be working in, so that I have a clean space to really start taking everything out, so that the mess from what I'm taking out is not, mixed in with a whole nother mess, So once we get this room all cleaned up, we're gonna head into the closet and start taking stuff out. But if you're new here, I'm Becca. I'm a mom to 3 boys and a wife, and I would love for you to hit that subscribe button and join the family. I put out long cleaning videos twice a week, every Monday and Friday, and I try to put out at least one short every single week as well, to give you just a little pop of motivation. I always keep it real over here, and I do a lot of decluttering and organizing as well, and always jam-pack these videos with real life messes. So if you like that type of content, be sure to hit that subscribe button.
But it will ricochet, I won't let it bite. I will look at you and tell you that I'm alright. Like a ricochet, it will come back to you.
As you can see, this closet is jam-packed with so much stuff. And for me, when I'm decluttering and organizing a space, I really like to just get everything out of the space and then put it in like small organized piles. I say small, they're big organized piles, I guess you could say, to start going through the stuff. And everybody has a different method that, helps them, right? But this makes me feel a little less overwhelmed if I take the stuff out, and as I'm taking it out, I'm piling it into certain categories almost. That way it's easier to go through those smaller sections of stuff. Whereas if you just come in here and you start going through everything as you're in here, it can be overwhelming, and you're looking around, you feel like you're not really making a dent. So getting it all out is usually where I like to get started. So we're gonna get everything out of this closet, separate them into different piles, and go from there. So like I said, I like to store a lot of junk in this closet just because it's a big space, but these plastic things, those small ones, I was using a while ago in my closet and I didn't need them anymore, but I didn't want to get rid of them yet because I'm a hoarder. And so I went ahead and kept them and just stored them in here for now, which they're going to come in use later. So happy I did keep them. But that big plastic furniture stuff, I actually have been using throughout the years since Grayson was a baby to store all of his clothes. I was going to say his baby clothes, but even his toddler clothes and his kid clothes. I still use it to store a lot of his stuff because obviously with having Tristan, who is 2 years younger than him, he will eventually grow into that stuff. So I try to keep everything so that they can be hand-me-downs, but all of this stuff on the top of the closet, it's still pretty decently organized, but it's just so much stuff, and I feel like it's unnecessary. Like, we don't need this much stuff hanging out up here. A lot of it can be gone through and either stored better or just gotten rid of. Before we move on with going through everything, we're gonna give the closet a good vacuum. I don't think, honestly, I'm not gonna lie to you, I don't think I've vacuumed this closet since when we first moved into this house over 2 years ago, because there's always so much stuff in it that it's like I can't really get in and vacuum because the floor was covered. So definitely needed a good vacuum. So we're gonna do that before we start putting stuff back in here after we organize it. So I have this pack and play, which I'm going to donate to either some type of homeless shelter or domestic violence shelter. I really like to make sure that I donate to places like that because it is really so important. They always need items like that. But this is a part of the boys' cribs slash toddler beds slash full-size beds. Like those beds turn into full-size beds, but they're really big and like bulky, and with the both of them in this room, it just wasn't feasible. I wasn't going to be able to fit both of those beds comfortably in this space without them being on top of each other. So we decided to just get these beds that we have now off Amazon, which were super affordable, and I love how they look. But once they, outgrow those beds and decide to separate rooms, because right now they love sharing rooms, I'm going to go ahead and, use those other beds. So we wanted to keep a hold of them. They were pretty expensive too, so I wasn't ready to let go, but I did have all the other pieces to the beds in the other closet in like the gym room. So that one piece just managed to stay behind for some reason. So I'm going to move it over now. All of these clothes I'm taking out, pretty much I need to go through because some of them will actually fit Tristan now. They just need to be gone through. Some of them won't fit him for a little while. So the ones that do fit him now, I'm going to toss into the hamper so I can wash them and he can start wearing them. And then I'm going to start a pile for clothes that either I missed and aren't going to fit him anymore, or clothes that can go back in the plastic containers for when he gets a little bigger.
I am hooked on you, and that makes me say, oh man, you make it feel like paradise. Goddamn, I think I'm gonna lose my mind. Oh man, you make it feel like paradise.
Since we have a full load of laundry now, I'm going to go ahead and toss this basket of clothes in the wash so it can get washing while we are working on the rest of the room. I knew there was still some shirts in his closet that he had outgrown that I really just needed to go through and get out of here. So figured now was the perfect time to do that. So I'm going to quickly go through. Tristan is the only one that I hang clothes in here for. Well, I do hang like Grayson's jackets or like sweatshirts in here, but Grayson fits all of his stuff in the drawers, and then Tristan didn't quite fit everything. So I went ahead and just started hanging Tristan's shirts in here, and it's worked out perfectly that way. But yeah, I figured I would go through it really quick and just get all of that stuff out.
Loving me was all you tried when you were around. I've been told too many times now. Yeah, loving me was all you tried when you were.
So I don't need these clear containers anymore. These big ones at least. I actually only ended up needing one of the smaller ones as well. So I'm gonna go ahead and take one of the smaller ones and the bigger ones and just repurpose them or donate them or something, but we definitely don't need it in here. And we're trying to eliminate, even though that's a big closet, I don't want it to be like jam-packed with stuff. I don't want a lot of stuff to be on the floor or in the way. So the fact that we could get everything down to just one of these little containers is wonderful.
Don't wanna be trapped, don't wanna be down. Looking for a new start.
So I had a lot of diapers and swimmers and pull-ups left over from when Tristan stopped using all of this stuff. I even had like a brand new tube of rash cream because I had just bought one right before he got out of diapers. So I'm gonna put it all in this Huggies box, and I gave it to my friend who still has a little one, so somebody will get use out of it.
But somewhere going high, looking for a new start. Yeah, somewhere going high, looking for a new start, for a new start. Looking for a new,
So this is all the stuff that was on the shelves in the closet, and a lot of it, not a lot of it, I guess probably half of this pile really could just be gone through and gotten rid of or donated. Like, there's just a lot of things that I was holding on to that I didn't really need to hold on to. I do want to keep the Switch box, but like there was a few like boxes for like toys and lights and stuff like that that I did not need to keep. There was also like there's just a lot of random stuff in this pile. There was a lot of blankets, and we don't need that many blankets, so I'm going to donate like half the pile. Some of them were important blankets, and they were from whenever Chris was a baby, or things that, you know, grandparents had made for the kids. So of course I'm going to keep those ones, but other than that, there's just no need to have all of this stuff and all of these blankets. And I really felt like going through this big pile, you know, that was really just the important thing that needed to happen, because over the last couple of years, I've really just like randomly stored stuff. Once again, it's just a catch-all. Like, it's an open space, so when I needed to store stuff, it was easy to just toss it at the top of the closet and worry about it later. So now it's later, and we're gonna go through it.
looking for a new start.
Everybody's been saying that you're up to no good. Everyone has been telling me that you got me hooked. You're playing it big time. You're feeding me lies. Everyone has been bugging me to sever the
This was Grayson's name board whenever he was in daycare. When he was a baby, I actually worked at the daycare on base, and he was in the infant room at the time, and I wasn't allowed to work in the same room as you just aren't allowed to work in the same room as your child, because obviously you're going to play favoritism, you can't help it. But he was in daycare, and in, you know, their infant rooms, they had you make, you know, boards for them, and so that was the one I made him, and I just held on to it after all these years. I honestly will probably keep it for the rest of my life. I just love it so much.
Should've known by your rap sheet that you weren't nice, but now I am telling you I'm going to smile. But I would never, ever, ever would have believed them, no reason.
All right, now that we got some things organized, we're gonna start putting more stuff back into the closet. That green and blue big plastic thing is actually the case for the shark. If you are familiar with my channel, I got my boys ride-on shark, like baby shark, for Christmas, and that's kind of its home. And I try to leave it downstairs to store it in that, but it's kind of a pain to get it in and out of it. So I don't want to get rid of it, just because one day when I do get rid of it, you know, I'll probably sell it with that thing, or if I have to move again, I want to put it in there to keep it safe. So I'm going to go ahead and just hold on to it and keep it in the closet. I also decided to take this box because it was just sitting unfolded, or sitting folded up in the closet. So I figured I'll put it to use, but I put all of the baby stuff in that box, like their coming home outfits, their like blankets that I want to keep and, like, you know, remember, and everything like that. So I went ahead and used that box for that.
Lucky, lucky, lucky me. I won. This town's so lame, I'm feeling so wired. It's 4 a.m., I'm not even tired. We're in your car, we can drive away. Oh yeah, we're almost there. I'm loving this feeling of something new. Just right what I needed, take me there.
This is actually the pile of blankets that are from family and made by family members and stuff. I'm gonna actually keep that in my closet for safekeeping. Those were their Halloween costumes from this past year, which I keep the Halloween costumes because my kids like to repeat them, so I don't want to get rid of them in case they want to wear them again next year. And then these are all their stuffed animals. They don't really play with stuffed animals, but a lot of these are kind of like, they have a lot of sentimental value, probably more for me than my kids, but I'm not ready to get rid of them yet, so I'm gonna neatly pile them up in their closet.
A gentle breeze, the night's got a fever, to the moon and back, playing loud in the speakers. You and me, can I marry you right away? Oh yeah. Listen to the midnight radio. Listen to the midnight radio. We can drive through the night, sing along to the midnight radio. Don't wanna wait.
This is the pile of clothes that I'm going to donate and put in the donation pile. I already have a donation pile going, but a lot of clothes that don't fit either one of the boys anymore and just need to be gotten rid of and go to a good home where somebody else can use them.
Ain't no delay, gotta let go.
I'm gonna go ahead and give the room a quick vacuum because of course with pulling all of that stuff out, it dredges out a lot of other stuff and dust and whatnot. So never hurts to give the space you're working in a good vacuum.
We can drive through the night, sing along to the midnight radio. Don't wanna wait all my life, can't remain, no delay, gotta let go. We can drive through the night, sing along to the midnight radio. Don't wanna wait.
Time to fold all of these clothes that we just washed. My least favorite task to do is to fold their laundry because there's always so many like working little pieces, so much to fold, so much, but it always feels good once you get it done. And I've already, almost completed this project. It took me literally all day to do, so I might as well just top it off and get it 100% done because we all know once it's done, you feel so much better. And on that note, I want to tell you guys, if you have something like this, a task like this that you've been meaning to get done or wanting to get done and just haven't started because it seems too overwhelming or too much, start it slowly. You don't have to get it done and all in one day like I did with this one. If it's too overwhelming, start with little things. Work on one little corner each day or work on one little corner every other day. Life is really busy. We all have a lot of things going on. We can't always take the time to take on big tasks like this, but even just the tiniest bit really helps over time, and then it feels a little less daunting and a little less overwhelming. But here's your note, just get started on something small today.
Searching after miracles, miracles. Oh yeah, night after night, night after night, night after
right, friends, here is the before, just to remind you how bad it was. This is 2 years of not, doing anything about it and just letting everything pile up. And I'm so happy that I actually took the time out to do this because it's been on the list for a very, very long time. And here is the after. Thank you so much for hanging out with me today. Thank you so much for choosing to click on this video. If you're new, please hit that subscribe button and I will catch you guys on the next one. Bye.